What we hope to do today, I want you guys to forget this presentation. What we're trying to do is bring to you the experience we lived through for the past couple of months, bringing a passion into a dream, into our campaign. So forget it's a presentation, forget we're up here on stage, we're talking to you guys as people, as our target audience, and we as the dream.
Okay, so the stories we've just conveyed to you drew to our attention that there was a problem. But what was the problem is that Egyptian women lacked empowerment. They needed empowerment. But how did we know what empowerment really is? According to a UN study, women empowerment is women's sense of self-worth. It's their right to be able to control their own lives, whether it's inside or outside the house. It's their right to have choices, to determine choices. They should have access to opportunities and resources. These are all things that we feel Egyptian women lack, and that's why we chose our topic. These statistics further emphasize why we chose our topic and why Egyptian women lack empowerment. 70% of the women ages 20 to 29 rationalize their husbands beating them when they refuse having sex.
56% of adult females in Egypt were uneducated and illiterate of the year 2000.
And 19% of the women are unemployed in comparison to the 5% of men.
And 6% of the women in rural areas own a man, while 20% of the women are workers.
And finally, 97% of the girls in Egypt are subjected to the practice of female genital mutilation. These numbers and other reports shocked us and made us furthermore research the topic. So we tapped into the psyche of the person himself and we tried to research more. First, we conducted our survey. The survey collected over 200 responses in which many of them agreed that gender stereotypes and gender inequalities still exist in our society, and that men and women are not treated as equals. Moreover, many believe that the main factor that affected our perception of men and women in society is culture. The respondents' answers showed us that there are willingness to change and eliminate gender stereotypes in the society, but that's not indicative of the whole society because the survey was conducted among certain A and higher B classes, and that's not indicative of the society at large.
Okay, so after conducting our surveys, we took the most important questions, and so what questions made a debate, and we formulated our focus group. We took our samples randomly and based on the most convenient. So most of the focus groups were done actually on IAC campus. We've done 4 focus groups, each including 2 to 4 women, ages 25 to 35, and each focus group was a representative of a social class, A, B, upper C, and lower C class. To be honest, the results were not that shocking because we found out that stereotypes do exist in all classes, but they take different forms.
What we found that all the women A, B, and C class were empowered, but they were empowered differently. In the A class and B class, they were empowered by self-choice, but in the C class, they were empowered by the harsh environment.
After looking at how all these people communicated their ideas and their concerns from society within their communities and amongst their friends, we decided to dive deeper into the psyche by talking to individuals as individuals. What we did were 8 interviews, in-depth interviews, and our aim was to get a female and a male from each different group we interviewed. So we had different age groups, from adults, distinguished figures who are with us today, we'll mention later, to younger children in schools, and the ages in between, so youth and teenagers, basically. The interesting part about our research is that we found that everyone, 2 things, 2 essential parts. A, there is hope, because people, for example, who owe their lives to their wives, like Dr. Galed, he's here as quoted right now. So that's number 1. And number 2, people realize there's a problem. There is a problem in society. People do not treat women the way they treat men, in Egypt and everywhere else. So what are we going to do about it?
After conducting our research, we needed to know who we're talking to be able to further implement our campaign. Our research showed that female stereotypes exist within all social classes with varying levels, of course, and affecting all females. And that's why we chose to target Egyptian females, mainly ages 16 to 45, but also we're targeting Egyptian males because they're partners in our society, but they're not the only people who are involved in our society. We needed to talk to stakeholders who will be affected by our campaign, namely the government and the NCW, who will be collaborating with us in future projects, also the media, NGOs, and others.
Now we'll be discussing the SWOT, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. After evaluating our research, we found that our target audience was relative to both genders, women and men. On the other hand, a weakness was evidently how social behavior is very difficult to change, and we know that we have an integral throughout 5 years. An opportunity is that today more women work, more women are educated, according to our statistics. And lastly, a threat is how the cultural and religious traditions today can conflict our aim.
All right, so what do we do after research? We basically bring our brand to birth. Like I said, we're taking you guys through the experience we lived through in the past couple of months. And what we want to do is show you how, okay, just a pointer here, there's a technical issue, and so I'm showing all our slides off the laptop if you guys can look, because it has really nice pictures of us smiling. So just focus with the laptop if you can.
It's not working, not the video is not working.
All right, so basically, what we did after we did our extensive research, all with our intake of insights and our debates and intake of calories and food, we came up with what we will be doing next.
Okay. So through all the disagreements and conflicts, we all shared the same passion. We wanted to accomplish the same thing. Firstly, we wanted to highlight the present stereotypes in the Egyptian society, raise awareness of the falsity of those stereotypes, empower women to go beyond the boundaries created by the society, and most importantly, address the whole society, both females and males, to embrace the full female's potential.
So, our positioning statement is what sets us apart from other public service campaigns. It's what makes us unique. What we're focusing on is the stereotypes against women for females in Egypt. And the thing is, we're not addressing only Egyptian females, we're addressing Egyptian males, all genders in society, because everyone is pertinent to our campaign.
After we decided who we're talking to, what we're talking about, and where we want to go with our campaign, we had to create the face. We had to put on our clothes as a campaign and decide what we will be showing the world. Again, technical difficulties, so if you guys can look up here. This is basically our logo and our slogan, and it's been on the slide since the beginning, but it hasn't showed. We chose the universal symbol for females. Now, there's nobody in the world who doesn't know that this means woman or girl. And we chose this because we're, as I said, targeting different classes. We're targeting not only Egypt, but the world. So what other better way do we convey simply to all ages that we're talking to women than bring the universal symbol of woman? Number 2 thing we did was that we added to the symbol of woman chains. These chains for us represent the idea of stereotypes, because as we said, stereotypes for us are exactly the thing that stop the woman from breaking free in society and reaching her full potential. And we specifically, because we get a lot of questions about this, why would you choose pink if you're basically trying to say break free? We chose pink because the color pink is in itself a stereotype, and we purposely put the chains in pink to show that even the simplest thing, like the color pink, is a stereotype in itself. As for our slogan, Foki Qiyud, it's a rhythmic slogan. It's something that resonates. And as we found out after we launched our campaign, it's something that turns colloquial. Foki, fok, foka, fakit. All that stuff was stuff we heard through our campaign by using a word that's easily both proper Arabic and colloquial Arabic. Al-Qiyud represents the stereotypes we're talking about, exactly the things that tie people down. And our catchphrase, as you'll be seeing through our TVCs and radio ads, is Inti Malkish Hudud, to further elaborate on stereotypes one end, full potential on the other. So you have the stereotypes, Al-Qiyud, and you have reaching your full potential in Hudud.
So to deliver our message effectively, we created a comprehensive INC campaign that we brought to life by ourselves by shooting, recording, and creating marketing materials by ourselves for the campaign.
Okay, so the big unifying idea, this is the essence of our product, it's the core of our campaign. Our big unifying idea is challenging the stereotypes. Why challenging the stereotypes? Because Egyptian women feel that they're chained down by stereotypes and misconceptions that society projects back to them. However, those projections are many times made by women themselves. And like Dr. Galal Zaki and Dr. Mirvat always say, women's biggest enemies are women themselves. And that's what we're trying to do throughout our campaign. We're trying to highlight the stereotypes and highlight how it's broken in the everyday life of every Egyptian woman.
Taking it to another step, becoming logical. How do we turn this IMC campaign into the world? How do we launch it? We decided to be very rational and divide it up into 3 main phases. Phase 1, where we put out our word, get people to tease people. It's basically called a teaser, marketing people. We get people to question, to wonder, to ask, what is this? What is happening here? As we'll see later on. Entice. So we entice our audience. Phase number 2, we started going out, talking to the people, not for research, but for the campaign itself, to get people to feel like their face is in the campaign they are listening to. You are speaking to yourself. As a woman, as a man, you're speaking to your sister, you're speaking to your mother. As a woman, you're speaking to your friend, your mom as well. So we engaged people, engaged. Phase number 3. Now, here's a little thing we learned through JRMC with Dr. Galal. Where's the beef? This is the beef. This is where our call to action comes to play, on a silver platter. Our main aim, our main message, our call to action starts taking part in phase 3.
So to start off, phase 1, the entice, was created to draw people's attention to our campaign. We use different disciplines like advertising, free marketing, and academic media. First, we'll show you the TVC, the teaser. TVC we created for airing on TV and sharing on social media.
الوضع الأخير 32 شارع بإنسان أمانة كم شارع زي النسوان دي كده
السلام عليكم يا عم سعيد.
الست بتشيل وبتشيل كتير.
And now our second TVC.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to try to listen up here because it doesn't seem to be. Okay.
What's your name?
زينة
معانا النهارده دينا حسن أفضل رائدة أعمال في سنة 2015. طيب. Okay, radio ad, sorry, we're gonna play it one more time so it shows.
ايه اللي حصل؟ يا عم كنت سايق في حالي ابص الاقي لك عربيه وقفت قدامي فجاه، لا انتظار ولا اشاره ولا اي حاجه، كنت لابس فيها، ولما نزلت ابص الاقي لك ايه؟ اكيد ست، طبعا ست، الستات بتاعت السوق.
كابتن مريم محمد ترحب بكم على متن طائرة مصر.
ليك الاختيار. فك القيود.
انت مالكيش حدود.
حملة من غير حدود ولا قيود.
بجد الفرح كان بارد فستان أنا بيها. قوي. بقول لك ايه؟ البنت دي حسن مش ناوية بقى تتجوز ولا هتفضل فاشلة كده طول حياتها؟ ده معاهم عيال. استحالة كده التلفزيون مش مكلمين النهارده.
ومعانا النهارده دينا حسن أفضل رائدة أعمال سنة 2015.
ليك الاختيار. فك القيود.
انت مالكيش حدود.
حملة من غير حدود ولا قيود.
And then now we'll be showing you the BTLs. As you can see here.
Okay, basically what we did, remember, this is phase 2, engage. So we got the faces of real people around us and we put them into our below the line media. And we put them into our below the line media with basically our slogan and our logo and only the face of the person we're engaging who speaks to others in our campaign.
Moreover, we'll be discussing the PR and the events and what we did and how we implemented it.
Okay. So as Monica said, phase 2 is all about engagement. So we rely heavily on public relations, mainly through events management, to get our words to the people. The first event took place in ASD where we took a booth. We provided our giveaways as an incentive for people to take part in our activities. We had different stations of activities. Firstly, we had the photo frame, where we would ask people to take a photo like a girl and see their reaction. Secondly, we have the board of stereotypes, where people would stick the stereotype they want to break free as a woman. Then we have the box where people would write letters to motivate a random girl. Also, we have rugby girls with us on board with their tackling bags to show what you can achieve with your body and you have no limitations. Lastly, we ended this day with breaking a piñata that had all the stereotypes typed on it. So we literally broke the stereotypes and shattered the stereotypes. Okay, moving on to the next day, we completed with the same set of activities in the booth in ASD. But we had more contribution from our sponsors on that day. For example, L'Oreal showered us with their giveaways. Also, here's Jim performing a Zumba session in front of our booth that led everyone dancing in the plaza. So this was a way to empower women through sport and fitness.
Moving on, our third event was completely different than the first two. The first two were more of targeting our AAC classes. Our third event was in Sheikh Nasser, and with an NGO called Al-Ashira Al-Muhammadiyya. Moving on, we had an open debate with the women there, and basically we had an NCW representative and Dr. Shireen Ramzi, an AAC psychologist, where we discussed the basic social and economic problems that they face. How can they face it, how can they solve it, and what they can do about it.
Right here, there's the video we had of Duwea region and our trip there. Very insightful experience.
Moving on, we have a technical issue again. We also interacted with our participants on Facebook and on our social media. We basically asked many individuals from diverse backgrounds and groups what stereotype would they like to break. Women and men participated on our Facebook group, and basically it was a one-on-one interaction with our aim.
So that's just basically the video from Duwea. Phase number 3.
Yeah, and then there's the last phase, the beef, the rafa. The essence here is the call to action. We're calling upon women to challenge those stereotypes, to be themselves. She is who she wants to be, and that's why we're saying انت ليكي الاختيار. Here's our TVC.
Again, I think. This is our personal favorite one. Not only is it part of the wrap-up phase, the call to action, and thus one of the most important things about our campaign, but it's also the one that speaks to us the most.
طيب احنا نشغل من هنا ممكن نشغل هنا هتشغل
شغال فيديو
ممكن نشغل هنا
Phase 2 engagement. We have people engaging. There are technical errors.
شغال
Okay. Okay.
اللي بتجري ورا رزقها نقول عليها مقصرة.
واللي قاعدة في البيت ومالهاش دور.
اللي تختار تلبس كده نقول دي صايعة.
واللي تختار تلبس كده نقول مقفلة.
اللي تهتم بنفسها نقول متدلعة.
واللي تهتم بصحتها نقول مسترجلة.
اللي مستحملة نقول دي مهزأة.
واللي ما استحملتش نقول بتخلق على نفسها.
اللي وقفت ورا حلمها نقول أنانية.
واللي وقفت ورا حلم غيرها ما نبقاش شايفاها.
تخموها ليه؟
ليكي الاختيار.
ليك الاختيار. فك القيود.
انت مالكيش حدود.
حملة من غير حدود ولا قيود.
Okay, and here's the last radio ad in our third phase.
اللي تنزل تشتغل نقول عليها مقصرة.
واللي قاعدة في البيت تبقى بروك.
اللي تختار تلبسها نقول عليها صايعة.
واللي لابسة عباية نقول يا دي بيه.
واللي تحط روج نقول مقبرة.
واللي تروح الجيم نقول مسترجلة.
ليك الاختيار. فك القيود.
انت مالكيش حدود.
حملة من غير حدود ولا قيود.
For our BTS, this is the this is the same idea we're portraying in the third phase, the beat. We're portraying the stereotype that's portrayed about women, and then how they did. For the OTS in the third phase, we had to be consistent in comparison to phase 2. Phase 2 was all about interacting with the people, while phase 3 was all about showing iconic models to show people that it has been done and it can be done. انت ليكي الاختيار. You can be what you want to be. Here's the media buying plan and budget in which we're going to show our advertising campaign. It's in the booklet.
Okay, so we got our message, we got the people, we put it out there, we got reactions. What did we do? We broke boundaries. How did we break boundaries? Again, sorry, here. Number one, we had a quest for coverage. And by quest, I mean chasing around that head stricken, trying to get people to cover us any way we can. We went to What Woman Wants magazine and we got them to cover us. And in case you're familiar with the feminist scene in Egypt, they're very strong. We chased after the people who then became our sponsors, which was no easy task, but we got by with a remarkable group. And then we talked to people, the expertise, the people who know what they're doing, who know what they're saying, who can help us reach our audience even better. The National Council for Women and Outed, another organization just for women. The reach. How did we know that we broke boundaries? How did we know that we are making a difference in society? We got an influx of messages through our social media networks, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and through our different platforms. People we've never heard of. And we used to think it was just going to if your friends would be interested. But these are people we never heard of. They heard about the message, they were interested, and they started asking us, what is this campaign about? They thought we've been around for years, even though we've only been around for a couple of months. What is this campaign about? We want to join, we want to help, we want to work with you guys, and there's nothing more satisfying than that kind of reaction if you're working on a social campaign. And then bingo, the sponsors that we actually did get, and if you look over here, it's quite an impressive bunch. My personal favorite would probably be the AC Rugby Wolves. Thank you guys for helping out. Thank you guys. None of this would have been possible without the support system. Everyone who's here, everyone who's on this side.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to a very tight schedule, the minister has to leave in 15 minutes, 10 minutes. So she's graced us, she's going to be giving us a talk, and then the judges will speak. Thank you very much. I'm really sorry about the hiccups we had with the system, but next semester I promise that I will sponsor a system that works.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting our ministry to present our work to you. Well, I came to watch the anti-littering campaign this last, so I'm lucky that you couldn't fit the presentation. We will receive it in the next and we will all watch it, and I'm sure we're going to work together. Because I'd like to tell you. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about what we would like to do with you folks at AUC, not just this class or this competition. We have a huge need for communicating to the public, a whole bunch of messages. Anti-littering is one of the most important ones. And I know you have something called IFSN coming up, and it's about batteries and cell phones. We have a national campaign coming up called IFSN. But it's not about cell phones, it's about throwing your trash in two bags. Which are organic in one bag and non-organic in another bag. So we would like for us not to have two different campaigns with the same message, if possible. Your expertise, your time, your resources, your energy, your enthusiasm, your love for your country are all needed. Anti-littering is only about pedestrian waste. But we have deeper issues about the whole trash business. I'd like to tell you what we're doing behind the scenes so that you don't feel discouraged when you join us as volunteers in the communications campaign and then you don't see anything happen. In order for us to solve the trash problem in Egypt, you have to have a whole string of things all lined up and all working in sync. I can imagine anything working in sync in our economy is a big challenge. Here it is, we're going to do it in Shabbat. We have to have everybody throw their trash into bags. This is what we need you to help us do. Next, we need to have people going up to your doorstep, like we used to a long time ago, and collecting the two bags. This is not something you can do. We're working with municipalities and governors and and it's so complicated because we have to produce maps of every neighborhood in Egypt, maps of neighborhoods, each country. By then, we have to divide the neighborhoods into 4,000 household units. Then we have to design contracts for small companies. Then we have to form the companies. Where are they? Each small companies. We're formalizing the Zeppelin and going out to towns and doing that. sign for the very first time, then they will go up and collect the bags. Form companies is not an easy task. We first announce that we want companies to come forward, then we invite scavengers, the people who scavenge in your bins that we're also upset about, to join these companies. So we're doing the social justice measure, big time, in forming companies from among the poorest of the poor. And we give them credibility towards residents, because residents would like to see ex-Nabashid coming to their doorstep. They like the Zabalin, but they don't like Nabashid. Cultural preferences, and it's really fun, but failures. Then, while we're doing all of this, you guys are helping us with the communications campaign. Do two things. Stop littering, and hang on to your trash inside your apartment until someone comes up to your doorstep and picks it up. Two things. In low-income neighborhoods, people have gotten this bad habit of bringing down trash all day long, whenever they leave their apartments. But another message we want to spread is once a day only, someone will pick up and hang on to it till tomorrow. After that, something else we're doing is bringing investors to upgrade all of the really bad-shaped composting plants and refuse-derived fuel plants. So we're doing two things with your trash. The people who collected these young companies are taking it back to where Zabalin have their own storage places, because the rest of the young people in the country don't. But another big social justice measure we're doing with municipalities is forcing them to allocate land next to the composting plant, free of charge, to these people who once upon a time were denigrated as Nabashid and saying they are entitled to land just like investors. We're not asking for much, it's just the size of half of this platform so that they can sort cardboard, plastic, paper, and aluminum, because guess what you guys pay on your fee for service is nothing. It doesn't come anywhere near covering the cost, which is £23 per month, price of a cappuccino. Let's say we don't want to pay it in a week, but we want to be in the streets. Another thing we need to do is clean city costs money, and there's no reason why young people entering into this new occupation shouldn't make a profit. For the interim period, we're having them make money from the £10 per day per month that they get, not much, but to recoup their cost and make money from the non-organics. So what we do is we monitor municipalities so that they don't take away the recyclables from these poor kids. Complicated information. So when you see Egypt not yet clean, when you have all these little pieces, source segregation by the residents, companies formed, contracts signed, neighborhoods divided into small zones, investors taking on the large facilities, the kids who collected recycling at the SME level. All this needs to be orchestrated by the government. That's what we're trying to do. But we need a lot of messages and other things also. And I'm very impressed with what you showed in the way up. I know they don't appear to be empowered. As in many ways, they are empowered and raising families and doing amazing things. But we don't know enough about it. So if in your research department someone wants to do a study on what are women in Islam contributing to the economy of the city in terms of labor, I would love to receive that study. Because it's hidden contribution to the life of the city by women. They go out to work every day. They don't have nice preschools to keep their kids in. They don't have easy transport. And they don't have good water and sanitation. But they do go out and work and they support families. So we're looking at new occupations for women in informal settlements. One of them is painting. They saw us start a facade painting with young men, and they were very upset. They said, we want to paint also. We can't go up on the scaffold, but we can paint schools, preschools, first floor buildings. Okay, painting for women. Another is plumbing. We have a huge issue in all of the informal settlements of Egypt because the drainage pipes are all leaking. We are going to work with young men who live in these places to work on plumbing. The women came up and were very upset. have a volunteer hub going on. We have where you will be invited to put your name down, your area of interest, number of hours that you can work, quality, geographic reference, what your path to and so on. Our website will go up in, say, 3 or 4 weeks. It's going to be www.uris and URX. The Ministry of Urban Renewal and Environmental Settlement. .gov.g. Facebook page, facebook.com/uris.gov. When they go up, you'll be able to go straight to the link that's called the VHub. As for today, we're doing paper stuff. Ahmad Barani, he has a whole bunch of paper applications. Someone put them on the site, and the whole program was donated by a very high tech who's done free of charge. And if you want to donate a lot of high-tech stuff free of charge, we'll also be very happy to do that. Thank you very much.